Disappointing. I thought there was a stretch there in the fourth quarter. There was a difference in the game. It's disappointing because I feel like we commanded the game for the most part. If you look at the stat sheet, I thought we did some really good things, but there was a stretch there in the fourth. I don't know what the exact time was and what the exact score was at that moment, probably around the 7-minute mark or so. But I thought we gave up some key offensive rebounds, a couple hustle plays where they came up with a loose ball, put us in a little bit of foul trouble, a couple instances. They got a key basket out of transition. We just kind of, I think there was a stretch there. We just kind of deflated. I thought we missed some free throws that we typically hit. I think we deflated a little bit. And ultimately, I think that stretch there in the fourth quarter, again, I don't know exactly what it was, but I could just feel it. You could just feel it when you were in the gym or when I was coaching them, that it just seemed like it was a momentum shift. And we've got to learn from it. We've got to learn from it and get better. A lot of these games come down to just some of the little things, and I thought there were some little things that ended up being the deciding factor at the end of the game.
You guys weren't able to, during that stretch, you guys still weren't able to hit some shots there. Seemed like some rushed possessions, some turnovers, that just kind of carelessness a little bit on some of those. What was it there late that kind of overwhelmed you guys?
I don't know. Obviously going back and looking at it, you'll have a little bit different perspective. I don't think they necessarily really did anything differently. We just, for whatever reason, didn't have a good offensive flow. I don't know if we got tight. We just made some poor decisions. We just didn't really execute. I don't think like we're capable of it. That's something we'll go back and we'll look at. It's kind of hard to pinpoint right now what it was. But we did. I thought we kind of took some rush, maybe ill-advised shots. Just not great decisions. We just weren't in a really good flow, it didn't feel like. And then, the flip side, then we went down and we were giving up something easy. Like I said, a hustle play, a offensive rebound, foul trouble. Key foul puts us in foul trouble, puts them at the free throw line. So I think some of those things, just that whole stretch on both ends of the floor, just it was the difference.
A new team, I'm sure it can be frustrating at times as you see it grow. Tonight's maybe a step back, but what have you seen so far from your team so far that you really like this first few weeks?
I wouldn't say this is a step back. I think it's I think Illinois State's a really good team. I felt like that way coming in. I think they've got some really good they've got really, really good pieces, and knew this was going to be a challenge for us tonight. But like I told our kids, we're capable of winning every game in this conference. It just depends how you put your stretches together and how you play collectively. But I think more than anything, I think this is something that will help us continue to grow moving forward. Because I think there were certainly situations tonight that a lot of kids haven't been in and that we'll learn from. And that's no different than it's been, the rest of this year, that, sometimes, I always say there's no substitute for experience. And I think having that experience and being in a big game tonight and being in that situation and, a lot of new pieces, we'll learn from it and we'll get better. And, when it happens again, we'll be better when handling that situation.
The way you rebound, if you can just find some offensive consistency, I would say you would be a pretty good ball club down the stretch.
Yeah, I think a lot of our rebounding, I think I always say when you take shots that our kids expect other kids to take, I think you're in a good position to rebound. And I think that we had maybe a stretch there where if you're not really expecting it or it's not something that you're anticipating, it's harder to rebound, right? So, I think just our offensive execution and just the flow was a little bit off, so that makes it a little bit harder to know when shots are going up and to get to the glass. But, rebounding's been a strength of ours all year. I hope, I think it will continue to be. We need to finish some more plays and hopefully get 3-point plays versus we just get fouled, get to the free throw line, and sometimes come up empty-handed.
Coach, you guys did something tonight I've never seen. Every quarter until the fourth quarter, you hit a buzzer beater to end the quarter. I've never seen that before. and to me, it felt like, all right, when those kind of shots go in, you feel like all momentum's on your side. But down the stretch, do you think it was, as you said, do you think maybe the youth of this team kind of showed up late when Robinson started taking over and making plays? How would you kind of address that, I guess?
Yeah, I didn't realize, now that you say it, I didn't even realize, but I guess there was a wish we could have won on a buzzer beater in the fourth quarter too, but that didn't happen. But I don't know, necessarily what it was. I don't necessarily want to base it off youth and inexperience, because, I mean, it's, the kids got to get out there and play the game. But obviously she's really good. They get the ball in her hands at the end of the game. She's not going to miss free throws. I don't know, kind of hard to say exactly. I think, certainly I know how it feels right now, and I'll have a different perspective, obviously, watching it, and kind of where we needed to be a little bit better. But just off the cuff, those are some of the things that just really kind of stuck with me on the defensive end of the floor. Just some miscues, some hustle plays, board, foul trouble, some of those things. And certainly we weren't in a great offensive flow, like we mentioned at that one stretch, but I feel like we still had command of the game. Like we were in command of the game despite some empty trips.
So what does it say, though, to you that you can tell your team, hey, look, y'all, you took Illinois State to the wire. Like, we should have won this game. How does that help you guys build your confidence going forward?
I don't know. I mean, I think that I don't know necessarily if our kids needed that to build their confidence or not. I mean, I'm really confident in our kids. I'm confident with our game plan heading in. I mean, I truly believe, you look at everybody in the conference and, you've got to put good stretches together, but I think we're capable every game that we go into. So I don't know from their perspective. You have kids that are in new situations and haven't been there, and obviously, Illinois State, won it last year, and so the ones that are returning know the history there. But certainly I think, expect Illinois State to be one of the better teams in this conference, and if they needed a confidence booster, I think is there, and a little bit disappointing because I feel like that's something that we could have come away with tonight.
Coach, you talked about experience and also, going on runs. Over the last month, you guys won 5 in a row. This would have been 6, but the experience of, the loss tonight, but also winning 5 in a row. You got Bradley in a couple days here, but as you move on to January, February, March, this experience over this last month has got to make you feel good about your team and where you guys are at this point?
Yeah, no question. I felt like we had a lot of, I think our kids are in a good place heading into this game. I think our kids are still in a good place. Even though we lost this game, I think our kids know that this was a game that, as much as you give them credit for stepping up and making plays, I feel like you feel a little bit like it slipped away. And so hopefully there's a little bit of a sting there that just, let's not let it happen again. Like you can't let that happen, and especially being at home, this is one we really wanted to get. And but like I told him, I mean, this is, I think, going to be a heated race all the way to the finish line throughout the conference. I think the conference is going to be great. I think it's going to be very competitive throughout. And the thing I talked to them about is, if you're in it long enough to know, like, one game can make a big difference either way, but every game you play, it means the same amount. So, we got to have short-term memory, learn from what just happened, and be ready to come out and take the game on Saturday.